everyone, I'm Jody Hand, Mrs. Hand Painted, and welcome to my channel here on YouTube. In today's video, I'll be showing you another one of my Christmas in July Christmas card series. This time we'll be doing these pine boughs with some berry branches. It's really fun and kind of just generic holiday card that you could really customize. If you wanted to add a sentiment to it, you could, but right now we're just doing kind of a decorative card front. And I'm using some Strathmore watercolor cards that are pretty inexpensive and use whatever paints you have. We're using a dark green, a red, and a brown. So whatever brand of watercolors you have will work out great. Don't worry about using expensive supplies because my philosophy with cards is to do them quickly and cheaply, because a lot of people are not saving these or hanging them on their wall. It's a greeting card and we don't want to spend an hour making some masterpiece that might just end up in the garbage. But I hope that these will end up on display in someone's home because they are handmade cards. So I hope you have fun painting along with me, and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I'll be adding a lot more of these card designs to my Christmas in July card series here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Alright, I'll just briefly go over my supplies I'm using here. These are Strathmore watercolor cards. They're size 5x7. There is a crease in the card so you can fold it, but I'm just going to leave it flat for painting. And then I've got a palette here for my paints, and I've got my Daniel Smith watercolors, but use whatever colors you want. It doesn't really matter. This is just what I have all the time and what I like to use. So you could use any kind of paints. They don't need to be professional grade. We're just making greeting cards here, so you can use your kids' paints if you want to. This particular design, I am just going to be making some random kind of pine tree boughs, and then we'll do some little berry stems just kind of randomly around the page. I'm going to be using today a round size 4 brush. This is an Escoda travel brush. I just wanted to practice with it and see how this one worked, but use any kind of smaller round brush that you have for making some of these little pine boughs. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and use a deep sap green. I would recommend just using any really dark green you have. If you don't have a lot of greens in your palette, you can mix some blue with a lighter green to darken it up, or you could add a little brown even if you wanted more of an olive tone to it. Alright, I'm going to start my center. And I'm not going to put any sentiment on this. I'm just making the pine and the berries. So it's just a decorative card with no sentiment. All right, so I made a line coming down. Try to go pretty thin pressure or light pressure so you get a pretty thin line. And then I'm going to start at the top. And then on opposite sides of my main branch, I'm just going to start making lines going both directions, and then I'll just get longer as I go downward. And try to do fairly light pressure if you're using a little bit of a bigger brush. There. There's one. Right, so maybe I'll just turn my paper around. I'll do one maybe coming this way, coming off the edge. I'm just going to vary up the direction that I have them going. And that one I got a little bit of a different angle, but I kind of just want them to be all different looking. Maybe for this one, I'll have one coming off of the page this way. So I'll start at the bottom and make my way up with shorter ones. Grab another one that's coming backwards too. Really is no right or wrong way to do this. I am really just going randomly here. You could do some little small ones too to fill in here. And then these other bigger white spaces we'll put in some little berries and little branches. So don't worry about filling in all of that white space quite yet. Alright, and if I'm going to have some coming off of the edge here, I'm just going to stop at the fold line, and I'm not going to go across that. I mean, the back of the card doesn't really matter, so I'm not going to do any on there. Ooh, I let that get away from me a little bit there. Oops. I'll do one coming off the corner here too. Why not? And I think I need maybe just another little small one right here just to balance that out. Alright, now I want to do some little berries. So I have just a deep red here. This is Permanent Red Deep. I'm just going to use that. I'm going to make a few little berries here and there. Just make a little row of berries here. I like to do them in odd numbers. So like 1, 3, 5. You can have a single one here. Maybe we'll have a clump of 3. And then I will add some little branches off of that little grouping right there. I'm just going to do my red step first. Alright, now I just want to get a little bit of some dark brown. I'm going to use my Sepia. And for some of these I'm just going to add a little branch. You can vary up the direction of your little branches. Just do really light pressure so you get a nice thin line. If you feel more comfortable moving up to, or moving down to a smaller brush, then maybe try a 1 or a 0 for really thin lines, or a rigger, something that'll give you really thin lines. And I'm just doing the branches for these ones that have more than one. The singles I'll just leave as a berry, just kind of lay in there. I think I want to put maybe another little branch right here. I'll just quickly put back to some red. Okay, there is a fun little design that you can do. It's kind of wintry. It doesn't necessarily need to be Christmas, but it's a nice little decorative note card that you could send out to somebody for a nice little greeting for the holidays. So thanks for painting along with me, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up here on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe. I'll be adding lots more videos to my Christmas in July series, so you don't want to miss those. And if you're watching this more toward the Christmas holidays, have a Merry Christmas.